absolutely know. My dad was ready to die for his faith. And that's not how he lost his life. He lost it to cancer. But truly, God used his death to bring people to him. Like, if he knew that his death was going to bring that, he would have laid it down 1,000,000 times over.
All right, Kirsten-Melrose.
Hi.
Welcome back to another
felt
episode.
like my mom when I did that.
Did you?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. That does feel... Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Anyway, we're going to talk about The Seed That Dies, which is a sad song, but it's really good. Like, I get emotional every time that I listen to this song. It is about Stephen.
It is.
But it's written from the perspective of God talking to Stephen.
Yes.
Which is so... I love those kind, just because it's a unique perspective.
Yeah.
Similar to I'm Coming Back. Maybe on the next album, you'll write a song from the perspective of Stephen talking to God
in that moment. Ooh, okay. All right. Getting some ideas tucked away.
I mean, I feel like it goes without saying what's the inspiration behind the song, but will you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to actually write a song about this?
Yeah, I don't know that I remember anything other than like I was reading through the story.
This is
Acts 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wish I had my Bible on my lap for this one but I think it's Acts 7.
Do you want to grab it?
Yeah,
you can grab it.
I do. Here it
do
is. Wait, where did it go?
It's never too far. Okay, we're gonna find it.
Oh, there it is. I just have to awkwardly crouch. Okay. Are we editing this out?
No, we're going to keep that. Bring the mic in.
No crouching. Sorry. That was an awkward word to say when I brought the mic back.
So, Stephen's story
stoning
is in Acts what?
It is in Acts.
It's too loud. I can't listen. All right.
Act 7.
Whatever you do, though, keep your face at the mic. You're like, all right, let me read it. You need me to hold it up for you?
No, I got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm just going to read this part so I remember.
Okay.
Acts 7:54 through the end of the chapter. Now when they heard these things, they were enraged, and they ground their teeth at him. But he, full of the Holy Spirit, gazed into heaven and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. And he said, Behold, I see the heavens opened, and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. But they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and rushed together at him. Then they cast him out of the city and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their garments at the feet of a young man named Saul. And as they were stoning Stephen, he called out, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And falling to his knees, he cried out with a loud voice, Lord, do not hold this sin against them. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. Yeah,
Sounds
powerful.
So reminiscent
of Jesus on the cross. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Like, I think that's for sure intentional.
Absolutely. And then bringing in Saul.
And that Saul was still at the point where he was like in agreement with the stoning. Yeah. But I think what stuck out to me was that last little phrase. After he said this, he fell asleep. And I know they use that interchangeably with dying. But at the same time, I was like, I love that imagery of like him just peacefully falling asleep. And so I was like, what if I wrote a lullaby that God sings to Stephen as he's dying? And so that's where this idea of like such a serene, like melodic, beautiful song
is not
in this moment of like a brutal, violent death.
Yeah.
And yet it was like, close your eyes, come to me. And just like God comforting him and giving him peace in these last moments is where the inspiration for writing the song came from. It also, I love the imagery in the chorus of the song kind of comes from the words of Jesus in that a seed has to die, right? A grain of wheat has to go into the ground and die in order to bring new life. And so this idea that death actually is what leads to new life, which beautifully brings in the idea of kindness and calamity to me. It's like, even in death, the ultimate letting go and the ultimate loss is God's ultimate kindness. He's like, come to me. You're finally going to be with me. And so the beauty of that. And one of my favorite facts about the church, like after this moment, is that his death, it was a huge moment for the early church, because the persecution was beginning to ramp up.
Yeah.
And they could no longer like be in Jerusalem without like facing this kind of violence.
Yeah.
And so it actually caused them to scatter into the outer areas, which was Jesus's commandment, right? Like in the Great Commission, that they would share the gospel in
all nations,
in Jerusalem and the surrounding areas, and then to the ends of the earth. And so Stephen's martyrdom was the event that spurred on the spread of the gospel to the next layer of like people that were going to hear about Jesus, and truly the spread of the gospel to the whole world. And it took Stephen's death. And so, and even in a more general like principle sense, that persecution is what drives the gospel moving forward. Like God set that up in such an upside down way, which is the way of the kingdom, right?
And he always uses the one to bless the many. Like it's just another retelling of Moses does it, Abraham does it.
It's a motif throughout. It is.
Yeah. Jesus obviously is the one that it's all pointing to. But then in this, it's like you have Stephen's death is so similar in some aspects, the way in which he goes. And it's what ends up blessing the many. It's just beautiful.
And then some of the words in the chorus too come from, I think it's a Jim Elliot quote. He was, do you know who Jim Elliot is?
Nate and Tim.
So a missionary to very rural.
In Ecuador, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Amazon jungle. Yeah.
Because I had, back when I was a youth leader, we had a group of youth students that went to the same tribe.
Cool.
And got to, that are all like believers now.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
It's very cool. Anyway.
But he famously said, he is no fool who gives up what he cannot lose, who gives up what he cannot keep to gain what he'll never lose. Which is basically like a paraphrasing of what Jesus said in general. But absolutely. But it does use that phrasing in the song. So I do think of that whenever I sing it. And it reminds me of my dad too.
In what way?
In that, well, he had a missionary heart, and he didn't step into missions until his, like, the end of his life, really. Like, he had 4 years on the mission field. And I knew he was really inspired by Jim Elliot. And he just, like, counted the cost, you know, of, like, I want my life to be used by God, no matter what it takes. Like, I absolutely know my dad was ready to die for his faith. And that's not how he lost his life. He lost it to cancer.
Right.
But truly, God used his death to bring people to him. Like my brother being one of them, like through, wasn't just that, but that was a really big part of his process. Multiple other friends in our church in Hawaii that came to Christ because of the way they watched my dad walk out his death. And like, if he knew that his death was going to bring that, he would have laid it down 1,000,000 times over. And so just the idea that in death, we can actually see life eternal. come from many, not just the one who's dying, but God uses it to bless the many, like you said. Yeah.
Wow. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the process of recording this one? Because it is one of the more stripped down versions, but there's just a fun little piece of it that
Right, it's pretty simple, but at the very end, we had the idea to bring in the cajon, and it has like this heartbeat kind of at the end. And it stops. And then as the heartbeat stops, these voices come in. Like we came up with this multiple harmony, just kind of like, it's almost spooky, but beautiful. It's like angelic, I think.
it is.
In these sort of angelic voices that are like, it's almost like his heart stops and then he's like ushered into eternity. So it's really beautiful.
And the heartbeat lives on past the end of the song.
You know, like it continues. Yeah. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's how it ends.
It's like, even though the song feels, it's over. It's like, no, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get to meet Stephen. I love thinking of these. They're not characters.
Right.
That's what we call them because it's inside of a book.
Yeah.
But they're not characters. They're people.
Right.
And like we're being blessed by his story.
Yeah. And his faithfulness to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's still blessing us. And we'll get to even meet him and being, I don't know. I have no idea what it'll be like, but be encouraged by him even then, you know, hey, you encouraged me to write a song. I don't know. That's just always wild to me to think of. Your dad, I don't know. Is he having a conversation with Stephen? Like, oh man, I wanted to give my life for that, but then cancer had to be the thing that took me instead. I don't know. Like, I just wonder about, it's so, I don't know.
It's a cool thought.
It's a cool thought that I don't have a biblical basis for, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we'll be joined.
We'll be with Jesus.
And
they'll be with Jesus too. Yeah. So maybe we'll all be together at the marriage supper of the Lamb.
It's an exciting thought. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Not just this song, but your heart behind it. So, shall we listen?
Let's do it.
All right. And here is Seed That Dies.
Oh.